Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Citizen Sleeper. And in the last episode, guys, I unfortunately had some audio issues. It seems every single time that I have a window update on my computer, it messes something up that didn't need to be messed up at all. But thank you all very much for sticking through that last episode and the audio issues. And a lot actually happened in that video as well. We were able to get a lot of progress done on PK and Eshe's plans, and not only did we have conversations with them, because we thought we were just going to be grinding that out, we also met Helene, a counselor for Haven Age, who wanted a meeting with us to kind of talk about the consequences of this refugee flotilla. That there are some people who want to use the refugees as enemies, and just a lot of real world comparisons here to kind of what's going on in a lot of different countries with like refugees trying to come over, and the human rights issue and the complications, and it's just very interesting. I'm curious to see how this DLC content's going to unfold as it releases. But we got a lot accomplished here, and we're going to keep on keeping on. The crew canteen. The crew has been convinced here. Now, let's head to the Haven Age hangar and get this one taken care of. I wonder if this is going to provoke another conversation. You manage to hit the hangar during a shift change, and the whole place is empty. You come away with a thruster set with little effort. PK grins as you pile the ion thruster sets onto the motorized trolley in a derelict loading bay. I borrowed this from Eshe. I barely know how it works. They seem giddy at the idea of stealing the ship parts from Haven Age. I thought you worked for XPR. I did, but not as a repair tech. They help you heave the thruster into position. My specialty was computer systems. I mostly worked on keeping the protocols that ran the refueling platforms from totally decaying due to lack of use. There's a load of platforms in orbit of the moon Hawthorne is on, and Cinder itself. Eshe and I ended up having to head out to them regularly to work on them. Sounds like hard work. Are you kidding? PK smiles. That was the best job at Hawthorne. You get assigned a ship, you get to leave the colony for a bit. So much better than outpost maintenance or canteen work. The only reason we got assigned is it was Eshe's mother as the administrator of Hawthorne, and Eshe managed to get my name on the list too. PK looks for the trolley's ignition. Eshe is always saving me. They find the switch and hit it, and the trolley starts whining. PK looks at the thrusters. Eshe will install these. The Briar is her baby, really. PK looks towards the bay exit. Truth be told, I was surprised she could bring herself to take it from her mother. Losing a ship? That has to have hurt the colony. How many ships does Hawthorne have? 4. Well, 3 now that the climbing Briar is gone. PK tucks their hair behind an ear. 1 barely runs, so I imagine they'll have to reduce the number of fuel platforms they can actively maintain. PK frowns for a second and then shakes her head. Anyway, screw 'em. PK shovels the trolley out of the bay into the corridor. They'll manage without the Briar. No choice. PK smiles. And I have to admit, I'd love to have seen her face when she saw we had gone. PK pauses. Don't tell Eshe that. They walk on quietly, lost in their memories of Hawthorne. Okay, I think I can manage the rest. PK brushes their hair out of their face. You've done more than enough this cycle. PK looks over the thrusters. Once these are fitted, the Briar will handle better than ever. You might even get a thank you from Eshe. PK laughs. They head off into the corridor, the trolley whining its high-pitched whine. See you soon. And we just got one more thing to go other than the water issue. Okay, the cordon operations. Yay for interface +2. PK is waiting for you when you slip out of the operations center, nervously poking at their small slate. Sleeper, I followed what you were doing on the network. It's incredible work. How do you do that? I'm not really sure. PK smiles. Well, it seems pretty incredible to me. Almost worth being... They stop themselves. Sorry, I didn't mean... Don't worry about it. PK nods. Sorry. You and PK quietly slip into the main walkway and work your way back to the public areas of the cordon. Haven Age has had to quickly respond to the flotilla's arrival, and that means a lot of contractors and spacers walking through these corridors. You blend in easily enough. I haven't really met a sleeper before, PK begins, as you might have guessed. They smile nervously. Hawthorne is an XPR service outpost, and since the collapse, no one came for refueling or repairs anymore, so my generation has never met anyone outside the company. We heard about sleepers. They nod in your direction. From the data packets that come through the XPR every once in a while. They usually contain news along with the corporate propaganda, but the reports were light on the details. S and ARP have kept the sleeper program pretty quiet anyway, and I think XPR were only interested in telling their employees about it because it made living in our company town look like a good life, in comparison to being a piece of corporate property. They freeze. Sorry, again, I don't mean... They look down. I'm just not sure how to talk about this stuff. It's okay. I figure through everything that our sleeper has been through that they've kind of got a handle on what they are and what they're about. It's okay. PK smiles. I'll shut up about it now. You walk on a little further, the walkway becoming busier. You both relax a little more and go with the flow of people. I just want to say, I think I understand. They begin again. Clearly this has been on their mind. I understand the need to escape, to get free of it all. They laugh at themselves. The structures, the systems, the company horizons in a company town. They stare ahead. The small places, small corridors, small people. They look away. The slow death it brings. That's it. They turn to you. I get why you signed up to be a sleeper, and why you escaped from that too. We'll just nod. You try to form words, but you can't. There's altogether too much running through your head. But you look at PK and they look at you, and that seems okay for now. You walk in silence again, each of you in their own thoughts, but moving together through space nonetheless. After a while, you come to the entrance of the cordon, where handfuls of workers and crews filter in and out through two huge loading bay doors. PK stops. Okay. They pause. I'm heading back to the Briar. Once again, incredible work on the sensors. That blind spot you created, that should give us a real advantage. See you soon. They head off, disappearing into the crowd almost immediately, outrunning their own nervousness. Alright. So that's done, that's done. Everything else is good except for the water. With 3 days to go. I love it. So, let's go ahead and... let's go ahead and try to engineer with 4. We don't have any Haven Age alerts over here in this section. Maybe we can clear this out in one day. Ooh, maybe. And we got a scrap item too. Crap. Okay, well I am not going to risk that. So... I'll tell you what, let's just go ahead and use this dice. Harvest some fungus. Nothing really significant, but still it helps. And we should be complete with all of our chores during the next cycle. Some repairs for the road. Cryo for the kitty. Another stop by Emphasis Stall. Well, I guess we don't really need to stop by Emphasis Stall. I mean, we've got all of this fungus, right? Might as well cook some matsutake. There we go. Decided to just cook on our own this today. Now let's see. Oh, yep, that's definitely getting done. Uh-oh. Sleeper? PK is waiting for you when you leave, but they look different. Pale. Drawn out. You need to come up to the Briar, now. They don't meet your eye. What's happened? Not here, PK hisses. Come to the ship. We'll be waiting. PK walks away. Don't take long. And with that, they disappear around the corner, leaving you anxious and confused. I hate it when people do that. Just give me a brief... yeah, just give me a brief, just a little rundown of what I'm about to encounter. Oh, Lord. Okay, we still have 2 days left. We should be fine. But is something going to create a complication right off the bat? As you walk into the Climbing Briar's cavernous bay, now filled with crates and containers, Eshe is waiting for you. In front of her, sliced open, with its insides scattered across the top of a heavy-duty crate, is an object you recognize. Helene's drone. You freeze. Come in, quick. PK nudges you into the bay, looking behind you before sealing the entryway. We have to start being careful. You move closer to the container, your eyes on the drone splayed out in pieces, some parts of it hooked up to a slate that PK picks up and begins tapping away at. Eshe looks up from the dissection. We caught it buzzing around nearby, heading for the ship. She leans over and taps the HA sigil on one of the removed pieces of plating. It's a Haven Age spy. We think we got it before it sent data back, but we can't be sure. PK looks at you nervously. Eshe cuts in. Have you noticed anyone watching you? Any drones like this? Anyone following you up to the Briar? Ooh, so this is interesting because, like I said, there is a kernel of doubt, at least with Eshe, probably PK too, just because of the weapons that we found in the crates. Do we let them know? I'm kind of curious to see how they'd react. So you know what? Let's go ahead and be truthful. I've seen this drone. Eshe frowns. Following you? Yes. Let's not reveal that we met Helene, but that, we are kind of technically telling the truth. Yes. Then it must have been tracking us for a few cycles. PK cuts in. Why didn't you say anything earlier? I met its owner. Eshe pauses for a while. PK looking between the two of you. Explain, sleeper, Eshe says quietly. Tell them about Helene, lie about meeting Helene. Well, go ahead and tell them. You explain that you met with Helene at the cordon, and you tell Eshe and PK about what she told you. That the Haven Age Council are debating lifting the quarantine, but they're blocked by the hardliners. You speak faster and faster, but before you can finish, Eshe walks away in anger, and then comes back again, her eyes burning. What is this, sleeper? Have you understood nothing from what we've told you? She paces in front of you. Haven Age are not your friends. They are administrators, which means they are interested only in their own power, their own survival, their own causes. They divide people as easily as sorting livestock. The greater good of their work demands it, the wider project of the station, the colony, the nation. Her eyes are wide as she speaks, her anger barely contained. I didn't really have a choice. I don't necessarily know. I don't know. Yeah. She wants to help. Eshe laughs. Help what, sleeper? Undo the mess with her own creation? She only wishes to placate you, so you'll compromise. So you'll do what is acceptable, not what is right. She's just a counselor. Let me tell you something, sleeper, Eshe says, her rage hardening into pain. When people become administrators, they give up something. Some part of being human, being an equal among others, goes away. They start talking about the greater good, the systems, the ways in which their hands are tied or their processes compromised. My mother was the administrator of Hawthorne, and I have seen what it did to her. That noble higher calling, it is toxic. People should never have the chance to decide the fate of others, and those that do so at the cost to their humanity. So that explains the issue with Eshe and her mother. PK tries to cut in, but Eshe holds up a hand. Don't start, PK. Don't ask me to be reasonable or calm down. Thousands of people are desperate out there. Being reasonable will only prolong their suffering. Helene can help, Eshe. Eshe turns away. I'm done with this. You are risking this entire supply run just by being here. She walks back into the bay and starts checking the straps onto the crates. I go next cycle. We don't need you anymore. Get out. Sleeper. PK looks torn. You have to understand, this is personal for Eshe. I know. PK looks away, and then at Eshe. I don't know, Sleeper. I just don't know what to do. You glance around the bay of Briar, the walls seeming closer every second. This whole thing is closing in on you. And the question is, where do you want to be when it all collapses? You look at PK. And what do you think, Sleeper? PK rubs their forehead. Should we do this thing or not? I figure this is... At the end of the day... Yes. PK nods. Okay then. They squeeze your shoulder. Onward. They slip away to help Eshe, leaving you alone to replay the conversation in your head. A certain kind of grim determination settling in the room. Last chance to prepare. Okay, well, I'm glad that we accomplished so much. I don't know what the timing of that was, but I guess if we said the wrong thing to Eshe, even if it hurt, that it would give us even less time. That's okay, though, because here we are. Fill up the tank. Eshe gives you a thumbs up, and this is working. I don't think she gives us a thumbs up. I think she gives us another finger. Tucked into a service corridor deep below the reservoir, Eshe is double-checking the seals on the water tanks loaded onto the motorized trolley. Though you're far enough away from any thoroughfares not to worry about being overhead, you both still speak in hushed tones. How will you get these to the Briar? Eshe glances back at you. We'll trolley these up to a bay further along, and then we'll bring in the Briar for a quick and quiet collection. Speaking of quiet, she gives you a look and then looks pointedly back down the corridor toward the reservoir, before hitting the ignition on the trolley to start it moving. You take the other side of the trolley and walk it up the wide service corridor, with its flickering lights and Solheim detritus. You doubt it gets used by Haven Age, at least that's the hope. You glance across at Eshe, her face a mask of determination as she guides the trolley along. Maybe some conversation will make this journey go a little easier? How did you meet PK? Eshe pauses, a little surprised by your question. She glances back down the tunnel, but in this deserted passage she can hardly keep up the pretense of silence. We grew up together. She answers quickly and turns back to the trolley, but she can tell you're expecting her to add more. She seems to gather herself for an answer, not wanting to ignore you, but trying instead to get her answer straight in her head. Our outpost, Hawthorne, is not an easy place to grow up. The administrators keep a tight hold of everything. She holds her eyes, even though they are trapped in the same decaying installation as everyone else. PK. She pauses. PK found it harder than most. She pauses again, judging her words. I stepped in to help them out. Silence descends again, but you can feel the wheels turning in Eshe's mind as the creaking wheels of the trolley take you along the corridor. PK isn't the most practical of people. They used to be... well, they needed someone to teach them to look after themselves, stand up for themselves. That was me. She actually smiles. After that, I couldn't get rid of them. Eshe stops talking, but you can see her eyes have lit up, and you imagine she is recalling some moment or other from her and PK's past. You both reach a wide bulkhead doorway, and have to stop to shimmy the trolley over the edge. When you're done, Eshe turns to you. I'm good from here. Head back. And with that, she's gone, moving off into the dark tunnel ahead. You watch her go and then turn around and walk the distance back to the staircase you entered from, the tunnel humming around you as you do. As you walk, you try to piece together Eshe's past, but all you have are glimpses of a person she once was, and she seems to prefer it that way. Hey, drive complete. Alright, so, well, that's cool. We haven't had an upgrade point in ages, and we only have one that we can't spend on anything. So here's what we're going to do. Let's go to the aviary. Let's go ahead and harvest some more mushrooms. Hey, I like that. Plant all these for the next growth. And one person that we have not visited in quite some time is Rico. So we'll go ahead and use the club heads and get ourselves a new stabilizer. Thank you, Gardner. Thank you for not being too upset that we didn't take your generous offer. Alright, what to do now? What to do? Maybe some scrap components. Hopefully this doesn't hurt. Lovely. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and use the rest of our points on this. Cool. Alright. Let's head home. Install some scrap. We'll grab some of some soup from Memphis. Feed the kitty. And we're in pretty good shape, I would say. Oh. And let's go ahead and buy some scrap as well while we're here. Two pieces of scrap. 3 pieces of scrap, and let me guess, a ship mind fragment. No ship mind fragment. Okay. Still, it's money well spent. Get some sleep and see what this is going to have to deal with. Now, she said that she was leaving that day, or the next cycle. Was she actually, or was that her having an issue? Okay, that was just her having an issue. But we're full up on PK's plan. The Briar's Hold is in good shape. We did it, guys. PK's plan is done. Eshe got the supplies. We just have to see what the end game of it is going to be and how it's completely going to mess up our relative calm here. Because you know that is what's going to happen. Alright. Let's go ahead and keep giving ourselves some scrap. And what to do for the rest of the day. Let's go ahead and cross the rim. And since we have the scrap freighter here, we might as well see about procuring some cryo. There we go. A little bit of energy back as well. Do we have anything that we could do well with a +2? Maybe the tea house? Oh yeah. Let's do that. For 24 cryo. That's good stuff right there. And then we'll head over to the Haifa commune and just do a basic work assignment because it's safe. And it would give us some energy. Not that we need it, but cool. Alright guys, well, we had that tense meeting with Eshe and PK, but it looks like everything's about to kick off in the next cycle. And then we also have Bliss and everything to take care of up above. I guess we could have done stuff for them, but I really want to see how this ends. But yeah, we'll go ahead and end it here and pick it up in the next episode. Hope you all have enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. And we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.